The story begins in the harsh northern plains. Giant machines carve through the desert in what has become one of the boldest infrastructure projects in Asia. The Kosh Tepa Canal is no ordinary canal. It stretches across northern Afghanistan like a scar of transformation, redirecting 20% of the Amu Darya River. The purpose is simple: to breathe life into barren soil, to turn dry wastelands into farmland capable of feeding millions. Once finished, the canal could irrigate 550,000 hectares of land. That is an area larger than the entire state of Delaware, and it could make Afghanistan self-sufficient in food for the first time in modern history. All day and night, 6,000 workers push forward. They dig, pour, and shape the earth with relentless precision. The project's price tag hovers around $700 million, a staggering figure for a country still under sanctions. But the Taliban are not waiting for international aid. They have committed another $100 million of their own resources, signaling that this is not a dream, it is a declaration. They are telling the world that Afghanistan will no longer beg for development, it will build its own. That confidence has rattled the region. The same water that feeds Afghanistan's canal also sustains farms in Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. Both countries now watch uneasily as the river's flow is redirected southward. The Taliban's message could not be clearer. Afghanistan will take its rightful share of resources, and it will do so without asking for permission. Water is now a weapon of influence, one that flows through fields and turbines rather than battlefields. From the plains, the movement of construction continues into the mountains, where new dams rise across roaring rivers. Among them, the Bakhshabad Dam has become a symbol of defiance. Even as disputes over water rights strain relations with Iran, the Taliban are pressing ahead with full force. These dams do more than generate electricity. They transform agriculture, secure energy independence, and hand Afghanistan a strategic advantage. Each completed project adds another layer of control over neighbors who depend on the same rivers. What surprises many is not just the scale of these projects, but the speed at which they are taking shape. Corruption, once the cancer that killed every dream of progress, has been sharply reduced under the old Western-backed government. Billions vanished before a single brick was laid. Now, for better or worse, the Taliban are delivering what others only promised. International observers have quietly admitted that projects once frozen by bureaucracy are suddenly nearing completion. It is brutal efficiency, but it works. That same energy is now flowing toward Afghanistan's cities. Just east of the capital, construction cranes rise over open land that will soon become Kabul New City. It is not a mere extension of the capital, but a reimagining of Afghanistan's future. The plan spans 722 square kilometers, enough space to house more than 3 million people. The idea is to create a modern, organized city that relieves the pressure on old Kabul, while signaling to the world that Afghanistan can build urban spaces as ambitious as any in Asia. Within its boundaries, 250,000 housing units are being planned. Some are already under construction. Parcel B, for example, began taking shape in 2023 with 6,600 homes designed for 40,000 residents. A year later, another section called Parcel 2.6 broke ground with a $700 million investment aimed at creating 52,000 housing units. These are not isolated housing estates. They are part of a larger vision featuring universities, hospitals, business centers, and parks connected by organized roads and reliable infrastructure. The Golden City district alone promises 40,000 homes, schools, and health facilities that could rival those in major Asian capitals. Every brick placed here connects to a broader strategy. The Taliban are using geography as their greatest weapon, turning Afghanistan's central position between South, Central, and West Asia into a logistical advantage. The country's terrain, once seen as a curse, is now becoming a corridor. In 2025, China, Pakistan, and Afghanistan signed an agreement to expand the $60 billion China-Pakistan Economic Corridor into Afghan territory. This single move created a trade route stretching from China's Xinjiang province through Pakistan and into Afghanistan, granting Beijing direct access to Central Asia's markets and Afghanistan's mineral wealth. But that corridor is not the only connection taking shape. The Trans-Afghan Railway, valued at nearly $5 billion, will run more than 570 kilometers from Uzbekistan through Afghanistan to Pakistan. What once took over a month by road will soon take just 4 days by train. The route will require hundreds of bridges and tunnels through treacherous terrain, but if completed, it will anchor Afghanistan at the heart of regional commerce. On the western side, another railway has already become operational, linking Herat with Iran. For the first time in decades, Afghan traders can move goods directly to Iranian ports and access the global market without relying on foreign intermediaries. Trade routes and pipelines now run parallel to one another, connecting nations that once fought across these same borders. One of the most ambitious of these is the TAPI pipeline, a $10 billion project that stands for Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. It was first imagined over 20 years ago, but lost momentum after the fall of the Taliban in 2001. In 2024, they revived it. Construction restarted inside Afghanistan, this time under their full supervision, and it is set to carry 33 billion cubic meters of natural gas every year. If completed, it could earn Afghanistan nearly $1 billion annually, while supplying energy to millions across South Asia. Energy projects are reshaping the nation's position in the region. The Kasa 1000 electricity transmission line, worth over $1 billion, will bring hydropower from Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan through Afghanistan into Pakistan. Afghanistan will retain 300 megawatts for itself, enough to power 1 million homes, while passing the rest southward. The World Bank, which does not officially recognize the Taliban, still found a way to fund the project indirectly by routing payments through neutral systems. Even without political recognition, the Taliban are collecting the benefits of development, proving that geography can sometimes overpower diplomacy. Beneath all this, Afghanistan's true treasure lies underground. The country sits on what could be the most valuable collection of minerals in the world, worth an estimated $3 trillion. Beneath its mountains lie veins of copper, lithium, and rare earth elements essential for modern technology. These are the materials that drive electric cars, power smartphones, and sustain renewable energy systems. The Taliban understand their value, and they are determined to control them. The Mez-Aynak copper mine is the clearest example. For 15 years, China held the rights to it but hesitated to begin work because of instability. Now, with the Taliban providing protection, excavation has resumed. This shift has attracted quiet interest from investors in the region who are beginning to see Afghanistan as a serious player in resource extraction. The Taliban's tax system, surprisingly organized, collected more than $1.5 billion in 2022, much of it from mining and reconstruction. That money is now being recycled into public works, creating a self-sustaining cycle of income and infrastructure. Even the deadliest roads are being reborn. High in the Hindu Kush Mountains, 11,000 feet above sea level, lies the Salang Tunnel, one of the most dangerous passages on Earth. Built in 1964 by Soviet engineers, it became infamous for suffocating fumes, accidents, and deadly avalanches. Designed for 2,000 vehicles a day, it now carries over 9,000. In 1982, a collision inside caused explosions that killed thousands. For decades, it stood as a symbol of neglect and decay. Then, in late 2023, the Taliban completed a full reconstruction with $100 million of domestic funds. That single project consumed nearly a quarter of Afghanistan's annual tax revenue. But it saved countless lives and reconnected the north and south of the country. Each of these projects, from canals to tunnels, represents something bigger than infrastructure. They represent the Taliban's attempt to legitimize their rule through achievement. The strategy is simple but potent. Control the water, the power, and the minerals, and the world must deal with you whether it wants to or not. Slowly, they are transforming from a regime defined by ideology to one defined by infrastructure. Every new dam, railway, and power line pulls Afghanistan closer to economic independence and regional relevance. But beneath the ambition lies risk. Many of these projects rely on fragile finances, uncertain technical expertise, and a volatile security situation. International investors remain cautious, and neighbouring countries remain wary. Yet even with those challenges, the progress is visible. The sight of cranes rising over the desert and trains rolling into Herat has already altered how Afghanistan is perceived. What was once considered an ungovernable wasteland is now an active construction zone. The Taliban's motivations may not be universally trusted, but their understanding of power is undeniable. They have realized that control does not always come from guns. It can also come from gates, turbines, and trade routes. By mastering geography and infrastructure, they are turning isolation into leverage. Every bridge built, every canal dug, and every megawatt generated tightens their grip not only over Afghanistan, but over an entire region that depends on its rivers, roads, and minerals. If these developments continue, Afghanistan could transform from one of the world's poorest nations into a regional connector linking South and Central Asia. It would mark a historic shift, one that no foreign power managed to achieve despite decades of intervention. What the Taliban are building is not just physical, it is symbolic. It is a message to the world that even those written off as relics of the past can reshape the map of the future through sheer will and resourcefulness. And the outcome will determine more than Afghanistan's destiny. It will decide who controls the heart of Asia in the years ahead. The Taliban's experiment with power built from canals, railways, and pipelines could either collapse under its own weight or become one of the most unexpected success stories of the 21st century. And we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. What do you think about this huge canal from the Taliban? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And we'll see you in our next video.